that's a good question, though. In other words, while on the one hand you have peace that your kids are okay, does the temptation exist for you because of what you know is available to you when you die?
No, not really. Just the idea of getting dead never worried me an awful lot. The type of work I did, you pays your nickel and you takes your chances, and I never dwelled on it. If it happened, it happened. And the idea of going out and doing it is just the feeling I no longer have anything to live for. My kids are gone, and my wife is sick, and she's not recovering well from the grief. And but then I got thinking, I've got my wife to take care of. I've got other children. I got grandchildren, and my children are all in their 40s, but they still all lean on Papa.
Betty, what's your reaction?
Captain Stewart called me, and I don't often have the opportunity to call people, but there was just something about the message that he left. And I called him and immediately felt a connection with him, a real love for this man. And when he explained to me that both of his grandchildren were killed in this car wreck, it was the way he said it. It was as though everything in his life had been removed from him. And we spoke for, I don't know, maybe an hour.
Mm-hmm.
We talked.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to let him off the phone until I knew that he was going to be okay. And we've kept in touch. He's called me back. And I love this man. I absolutely love him. And is he going to commit suicide? Absolutely not. I'm not about to let him. But he has a lot of pain. He has been in a lot of, it's been awful for him. And because it was 2 grandchildren, one from one son, the other child from another son, it's almost more than the family could bear.
What did you tell him?
Do you remember?
I don't really remember.
We just talked about a little bit of everything, but I remember him telling me about his grandchildren, how long it took them before they died, the 6.2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I told him, I says, they probably had already left their body, because when a spirit is in trauma, it does not necessarily stay with the body to experience the pain. I know that your spirit can leave your body and actually be up here somewhere and watch the body continuing as though you were watching someone else. I mean, you're watching your body continue in the wreck, and you're not there.
So based on your experience, in very specific, real terms, it's very comforting for people to know who have a loved one
Absolutely.
who's been killed, that what we believe they have gone through in terms of pain and terror may not in fact be the case. It
That's
could be
right.
helpful
That's right.
to people.
And they were only 16, but
Kids.
it was absolutely their time to go.
Yeah.
They were in a rural area, and the chances, you know, the coincidence, I guess, of this automobile striking another car out in this area, the odds are ridiculous. In favor of them never having this happen.
We're speaking with Betty Eadie about her near-death experience. You asked Jesus why there is pain in the world. What answer did you get?
Yes, I did. I learned that there's pain in the world because it is part of the natural growth process, that if we didn't learn pain, we would not learn joy or happiness. And so some of us that have probably the greater pain are actually the greater spirits capable of handling that additional growth period.
Does that go for horribly innocent suffering, like the Holocaust would come to mind?
Yes,
people
it does.
just victimized in pain.
Yes, it does. And I know that that is very difficult to understand at the earthly level. But if you could understand it from the spiritual sense, in that the spirit is so much stronger.
What about people who inflict pain? Are there negative spirits as well as positive ones, angels?
Most of when you talk about the people that inflict pain, that is basically could be any one of us here in this room. And I learned that these people are just giving back what they have received in life. Often it is even actually genetically coded, some of the trends, I guess, that run through families.
Were you a dysfunctional person yourself?
Well, you know, no one likes to think that, but yes, I had my problems, and I was a real fighter. I had a very bad temper. I was raised in Indian boarding schools, and we had to fight actually for survival.
See, you come across as very, you know, shy, and actually there's almost even some sadness that I feel from you.
I think what you are probably touching into is the sadness for Mr. Stewart, because that was a very sad occasion for him, and it still touches my heart when I think about it. But no, I'm a very serene person now.
You had the best news any human being could ever have, and in a very vivid and real way.
Yes.
Are you happy personally?
I am not fearful, and that makes me happy because, I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen to a person? You could die, right? I already did that.
Do you feel like you're a joy-filled person? Do you have joy?
Yes, I look forward to every day because I know it's a new day and I can begin all over again.
Yes, Betty, I want to know, did you ever have any religious encounters like this prior to your death experience?
I had a near-death experience actually when I was 4 years old, and it made some impact, I'm sure. But the increased ability for spiritual experiences since my death it absolutely occurs all the time.
I want to ask Betty, what did Jesus look like?
Yeah, anything like the pictures, Betty?
In ways, yes, because they have captured emotion that I could tell that was, you know, a part of him. The love in the eyes, but the color of the hair, no, he was a being of light. But then again, this was in all his glory rather than his earthly body.
Yes, in the Bible it talks about people having visions. I'd like to know, do you think it's more like it could be a dream or a vision as opposed to a near-death experience?
Or is a near-death experience a dream or a vision?
Well, I think you would have to experience all of these things to know the difference. And I'm an avid dreamer. I love to dream. I dream in color. I dream in black and white. I always have. And I have hallucinated before after a death of one of my daughters. I hemorrhaged then, and I hallucinated. So I know what dreaming and what hallucination is. What I experienced was actually heightened awareness. And so, no, I wasn't dreaming. I did not hallucinate.
When you were talking to Jesus in the light, did you feel you had a choice, or do you feel you were sent back to this side to spread the word of love to people like us and to people like the captain?
I didn't want to come back because of his tremendous love for me. It was very difficult. I actually told him I was not going to come back. But he
You
said
refused Jesus?
I know, but he's a loving person, and yes, I did. I threw myself down and I said, I'm through with earth, and no one here is going to make me go back. Remember, I carried forth that fighting spirit that I had. But he said my mission was not finished. He says it's not complete, and you need to go back and to do that.